actually did have a presentation to put on the screen, and then the more I sat through the subject that Kurt wanted me to discuss, which is the idea of how to build or rebuild communities, the more I realized I actually didn't have an answer to what he wanted me to talk about. You see, I've built communities in the blockchain space. I founded Augur, the Blockchain Education Network, distributed magazine. But the more I look at the culture that's been created in this industry, the more I realize that it's not clear that we actually have a framework for successful communities. Even Bitcoin, which is indubitably the most successful crypto asset or blockchain that exists today, has been fractured repeatedly, lost more and more followers, and not really, in my view, ever created something that is welcoming, something that people want to be a part of forever. You know, so many people I know that came into Bitcoin when I came into the space 5 years ago aren't in it anymore. So instead of saying how to go and build a community, let me say how not to go build a community. Because I think those answers are actually much more distinct. One way you don't go and build a community is going and create mega conferences with platinum sponsors from Fortune 500 companies that are just spewing their R&D garbage that's never actually going to go to market. Without naming names, there are these conferences that come and it's just pay to play. I had a panel scheduled at one of these large conferences this week, and they canceled it because there was a sponsor looking to pay more money, and I'm not going to go pay to speak, but perhaps the knowledge I have to give is better, but maybe not. But by asking people to pay to come and speak at a conference, you're inherently limiting the sort of people that are going to come and speak at the conference that you're offering. Parties and dinners. I love parties. I love dinners. That's not how you go and build a community. Your cost of customer acquisition should be in the pennies or low dollars. It shouldn't be $100 a head or more. By spending money on superfluous sponsorships, on events that only bring in wealthy investors, you're actually dramatically lowering the likelihood that you're ever going to build a true community, because communities start at the grassroots. You never know who your most fervent supporters are going to be if you're only reaching out to the wealthiest donors to your future ICO. And that brings me to my next point, ICOs. Why is anyone on earth, well, I just deleted my notes, but that's fine. Why is anyone raising tens of millions of dollars for an idea early on? The whole idea of startups is that you should be gritty and you should bootstrap your idea until you build a critical mass around your idea. When you go and raise tens of millions of dollars, it makes you lazy, both intellectually and in building the sorts of grassroots communities that you need. When I founded the Blockchain Education Network, formerly known as the College Cryptocurrency Network, was built out of a desire to organize and educate young people. And our budget that took us from having 3 Bitcoin clubs in the United States to over 100 Bitcoin clubs in 20 plus countries on every habitable continent was $0. Well, maybe like 1,000, but it wasn't much. What we did was we spoke about what we were trying to build. We had a core philosophy that resonated with people, and young people all around the world gathered around this idea and started developing their own organizations based off of the framework that we had designed them. With Augur, we had a budget that wasn't much bigger than that, but we had an idea that we thought was powerful. And using free tools like social media, Facebook, meetup.com, we were able to go and on a very shoestring budget, build a movement from around the world. And you know what? We didn't raise that much. I mean, relative to what we see today, we raised about $5 million. But people resonated with the idea that we were building, and long term, we were able to create value. Now, as the product is ready to go to launch, The market capitalization of the tokens that we raised for 5 million are many, many times more than that. And what's happened there is no matter how long Augur took, the people that first believed in that vision and that first $5 million ICO have been greatly rewarded for their patience and belief in the long-term prospects for the technology. When you're building a community, it's not about promising rewards today or tomorrow or a year from now. It's about promising to foster something that's bigger than oneself. It's something about more than just profit, but about building something that actually has a meaningful difference on the world in the long term. That's the only way you can ever foster a community. No amount of money can buy a community. No amount of concerts with Snoop Dogg or Busta Rhymes will ever possibly get people excited about what you're building. They'll come for the party and they'll leave afterwards. The only thing that matters when it comes to building a community is having a strong philosophy that resonates with people, that makes people want to build, that makes people want to stay, where price fluctuations don't matter, where you've created a cult-like mentality around whatever you're building that makes people want to stay forever. Thank you.